right back to the very start of your life. You were born Ronan Patrick John Keating in Dublin on the 3rd of March 1977. What was your childhood like?
Madhouse, 5 kids, always something going on, someone arguing with someone. It was amazing. I was the baby, so I was, you know, spoiled.
You weren't the most academic of children.
I wouldn't have been the most academic.
Mainly because you weren't often at school.
I loved sports, I loved English. I just didn't like all the other stuff. And, yeah, I was always more interested in listening to my brothers and sisters' record collections at home or going and doing a job somewhere and getting a few bob, you know. I like to work.
You were hungry and ambitious for fame and fortune. Ronan was born in Dublin on March the 3rd, 1977, the youngest of Marie and Jerry Keating's 5 children.
We were a very close family. It was a tough time in Ireland. Mum and Dad made sure we had everything we needed.
Mum was the boss in the family, you know. If Mum said you were in trouble, you were in trouble, you know, and all she had to do was shoot you a look.
By the time he was 14, Ronan's older siblings had all flown the nest, and his mother lavished all her attention on her youngest boy.
She spoiled him rotten. She pampered him like hell, you know, because he was the baby.
We're gonna be so good, like I knew we...
By the mid-90s, Ronan was already a superstar, and Boyzone were on their way to becoming a global success.
Now, gonna be so good.
It's only words, and words are all I have.
There'd be girls that'd hang around outside the house, and Mum would be bringing them in for a cup of tea, and Ronan would be going mad because she'd be bringing them up to show them his bedroom.
Marie Keating proudly watched her sons rise to stardom, and in 1995 appeared with the other Boyzone mums on Ireland's 12 to 1 show.
Ronan's out there and he's the pop star. He's also the baby of your family, isn't he?
That's right.
So you're very protective of him?
Yes, I do. I worry about him.
Do you?
A lot, yeah.
Just 9 months later, she discovered she had cancer.
Mum rings and she says to me, Linda, I found a lump, I have to go to the hospital.
It turned out that the signs had been spotted earlier, but overlooked.
Mum had a lump for 2 years, was afraid to go to the doctor. Kept on saying, oh, it's a cyst, it'll go away.
But after receiving treatment, it looked like the cancer had disappeared.
They gave her the all clear.
We pretty much thought that was it. She's going to be fine.
I didn't believe it because Mum had a pain in her back.
4 months later, a scan showed the cancer had spread.
The doctor said, I don't even have to do a biopsy. He says, I can tell you it's a malignant tumour. The cancer was actually in her spine at that stage.
On February the 2nd, 1998, aged just 51, Marie lost her battle with cancer.
When you lose somebody that close and so important in your life, I mean, life just doesn't carry on normally. Something has to happen. Something's got to give.
It was just so hard to see them, see their mother gone, you know, very hard.
Shocked and grief-stricken Ronan turned to the bottle.
He drank a lot. He actually was up on stage and, you know, sort of collapsed backstage. Ronan just went into a downward spiral and had a bit of a breakdown, I think, after that.
I don't know exactly what he went through, other than it wasn't okay.
Tell me about your mother.
Incredibly understanding, loving, caring woman that I could turn to in whatever situation. That's what your ma is, you know? She was so warm, so caring. I mean, the early days of Boyzone, all the lads used to meet at my house. They'd all park their cars there, and we'd go get in the bus and drive up to Belfast, let's say, to do a gig. She'd make them all sausage sandwiches and stuff like that. You know, that's the Irish ma. That's the way they were. Have you eaten? Have you eaten? It was like in Father Ted, you know, she's always making sandwiches for the lads. It's that kind of thing. Go on, will you? Go on. So it's that kind of thing, yeah.
When were you first aware that she had been unwell?
I was on the way to the airport, to Dublin Airport, and Kieran, my eldest brother, called to say, Ro, Ma'am, they've been to the doctor, Ma'am's found a lump, and it's not good. So that's when it began, and it was a 2-year journey.
And that moment that you were told that?
I didn't want to believe it. So I got on the plane and I went to work, because I didn't want to believe that. I was really scared I was going to lose my ma.
You all got together for Christmas, turned out to be the last Christmas that you had together. She was very poorly.
Yeah.
That must have been tough for you, for the whole family.
Yeah. It was a very tough Christmas. She was in a wheelchair. And that alone was too much for her. She hated that. And we tried, we were all there, and we all tried to just rally around her and make her feel like we didn't think anything other than we were all together and it was Christmas and it's going to be fantastic. But we knew then she didn't have long. So it was heartbreaking.
She died 2 months later. You were 20 years old. She was 51.
Yeah. I was in Dublin when it happened, and I remember I got the call from the hospital to say, she's taken a bad turn, can you get to the hospital quickly? So I jumped in the car and I drove to the hospital, and I remember Linda was at the hospital, but I remember pulling into the car park of the hospital, and Linda's car was left abandoned in the car park with the door open and the engine running. And I thought, this isn't good. I parked the car and I ran inside. And as I was getting to the door, Mum's room, nurse came out and told me that she had just passed away. Mum had asked Linda minutes before, would you go to the Marks and Spencer and pick up some slippers for me? She had slippers, but she knew. And Mum was the type that if all her kids weren't with her, then none of them should be. Yeah.
What did you miss most?
I think her voice, her a mother has an amazing ability that when you fuck up, to tell you everything's okay. And she had that. And you never find that again.
The complete unconditional love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your dad struggled with it too, so much so that he sold the family home, which was tough for all of you, I think.
Yeah.
You didn't really understand it at the time. Do you understand it better now?
I do. I understand a lot more than I did then. His struggle, what he had to go through, what he was dealing with.
It was said that you didn't speak to him for 2 years.
Probably the guts of 2 years, yeah.
And who made the first move after that?
I did. I did. I realised when I had kids myself that it's not my choice. You know, my kids need to decide whether they want a grandfather in their life. It was selfish of me to do that. So I thought it was very important that I rebuild that.
What's your relationship like now?
Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah.
In 2009, you had a cancer scare of your own.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Being the face of a cancer charity, I have to practice what I preach. So I check myself regularly, and I found a lump on one of my testicles. That thing about, as a guy, having to lie up on a table and get checked, it's not nice. One, I was frightened because I was afraid what he was going to tell me. And two, you're there with your pants down and some guy checking your nuts. I mean, it's not cool, you know. And he said, yes, you are nuts. No, that's terrible. Sorry, that was bad. That's really bad. No, but...
But actually, humour is a good thing about that.
Yes.
The less you make it sound something horrible, and the more you can have a laugh, the better, actually.
Well, I did actually ask him, can you find them, when he was checking. But it was frightening. I was frightened. I was scared. And, OK, he said, went and got an ultrasound. All fine, thank God. But I was scared stiff.
Why, when you look back, why do you think you were unfaithful?